You are forcing me to send you to jail now. You can't do this.
Test today.
No, I don't want you to test today. I think you're on a bender is what I think. That's what I think. And Emily would tell us that if she was here.
This case moves fast, so lock in. We've got Monica Weck, a recent positive chemical test, and a judge who's done being patient. The timeline matters. A plea was taken, a same-day testing order was given, and then no show. Today's hearing isn't just about excuses. It's about credibility, compliance, and whether the court can trust a defendant 10 days from probation to follow through when it counts. Watch how the judge tests every claim. Transportation problems, emails to probation, a husband allegedly intervening, even prior risky driving. The real question, is this a tough week or a pattern? Let's break it down.
Check 24G 305 990A. So, your name, ma'am?
What's that? Just go to home, have up the race.
Took her plea to being positive on a chemical test on September 16th.
Here's why the judge's tone hardens early. Monica already took a plea after testing positive on September 16th, then was ordered to test again and didn't show. In probation and pre-sentencing supervision, failing to appear for testing is treated almost as seriously as a failed test because it undermines monitoring. Courts rely on structured timelines. Orders are not suggestions. So when the judge asks, why didn't she test? The court isn't fishing. It's measuring credibility. If the answer isn't airtight, documented transportation attempts, screenshots, call logs, judges often infer avoidance. That's why the missed test immediately after the plea is a major red flag.
I ordered her to test that day on November 29th. So the court date was September 29th, rather. I took her plea, told her to test today, set it for sentencing. She didn't go test. Why didn't she test?
That wasn't my intention. I had every means to go test.
Transportation problems are common in court, but here's how judges evaluate them. Did the person call the testing facility? Notify probation immediately, or document alternatives like rideshare, cab, bus, or help from family? The judge lists exactly those options: Uber, cab, ride, even a bike, because courts expect adults under supervision to have a backup plan, especially for same-day compliance. If your single car is gone with your spouse, that may explain a delay, not a no-show. Without proof of active effort, ride receipts, messages, timestamps, this reads as non-compliance, not bad luck. That's why the judge's patience dips so fast here.
Why didn't she test?
Well, I only had one vehicle with my husband. He took off on me. He thought I had other people to call. I called everybody that I could.
What else happened? What else happened? Did she miss another test, or?
I believe so. She just didn't appear for that day, Your Honor.
Are you sure?
I'll have to double check.
Please double check. Hang on. Please double check if you need to. I don't understand this, Ms. Wycheck. You live in Gibraltar, right? You tested DNA, right? You couldn't take an Uber, you couldn't get a cab, you couldn't get a Lyft, you couldn't get anybody to drive you, and you didn't have a bike to drive.
I didn't have any.
You are forcing me to send you to jail now.
When a judge says, "You are forcing me to send you to jail," that's not rhetoric. It's a due process boundary. The court must protect the integrity of supervision. The logic is, the court extended trust, issued a clear order, and got non-compliance plus wobbly explanations. Short custodial stints, often called shock time or swift and certain sanctions, are used to reset behavior, not to punish past mistakes alone. The message to the defendant and the community is, orders matter. Notice how the judge also refuses a same-day makeup test. The problem isn't just the result, it's the missed order itself.
You can't do this.
Test today.
No, I don't want you to test today. I think you're on a bender is what I think. That's what I think. And Emily would tell us that if she was here.
Two things collide here. The judge suspects recent alcohol use, on a bender, and the color line system comes up. Many jurisdictions use color number call-in lines. If your color is called, you must test that day, often with both morning and evening windows. The judge is clear. Whether the color is orange, lime, or pink isn't the core issue. The standing order to test is Inference 101. Not testing when ordered, especially after a recent positive, often equals assumed positive in the court's reasoning. That's why the judge treats the non-appearance as a powerful sign, independent of any later clean result.
Ma'am, when I tell somebody to test, I didn't ask you to drive to Oklahoma. Don't come in here and come in with this. You know, I was feeling sorry for you. I thought, okay, she's almost to the end. And then I'm getting statements from the probation officer that did you send the probation officer a email?
Victoria, yes,
Pam, I want to see if there's emails from Ms. Wyachek to Emily. Sometime, if you guys can get in her computer, or emails after the 29th, up until, say, the 2nd or 3rd, if you can check, okay? Do you have any information on that?
Her caller hasn't been called since the 29th.
Yes. No. I'm talking, hang on. Hang on.
Now we hit the email to Emily at probation. Crucial because it speaks to intent. If an email was sent around the test date saying, "Please help me tell the judge," the court asks, who wrote it, when and why? Monica says her husband actually sent it. That creates credibility problems. 1, probation needs to know who is speaking. 2, a spouse impersonating a defendant is never good. 3, the timing, midday on the required test date, suggests awareness of the order, but no appearance. Even a well-worded email is not a legal substitute for showing up or promptly notifying probation before a deadline lapses.
There was some email that was sent to Emily. I need somebody to find that email. It was either the 29th or the 30th, possibly the 1st, by Ms. Wyachek. Okay? Thanks.
Her caller was called this morning, but she technically still could test this evening for testing.
Judge.
I have the recorders line, so.
This is not good.
color was orange. And now,
Well, let's not worry about that. Because we can clarify whether your color is orange, lime, purple, pink. The point is that I told you to test. And you didn't go test. This is not some voluntary testing facility we have next door. It's not go if you feel like it. She's in trouble.
The judge references Monica driving into the back of a patrol car, not to repunish that incident, but to evaluate risk and responsibility. Courts look for patterns, impaired judgment, chaotic life circumstances, and inability to follow structure. When recent behavior includes dangerous driving, then a missed test follows a positive test. Judges see a trajectory, public safety risk plus non-compliance risk. That's why personal hardships, while acknowledged, don't erase the need for strict monitoring. The question for the bench becomes, what combination of custody, technology, and extended supervision will actually change behavior in the next 60-90 days?
I was worried about her in the very beginning. I mean, you drove into the back of a patrol car. You drove into the back of a patrol car.
very seriously.
Well, you didn't take it seriously on the 29th when I told you to go test. I mean, I don't want to sit here and
A lot of personal things. My husband has health issues. I'm on the verge of losing my home. I'm having a lot of things that happen all at once. I'm trying to get a job at the end of this month. He's waiting to go back to his job, so he's working. He's gonna be working by the end of this week. And we've been broke.
Why'd you lose your job?
I was working 15 hours a day for the past 2 years. And I pointed out, when you point out at my work, they have to like go,
You pointed out due to what?
just being late or
Yeah.
throughout the amount of time.
I mean, I don't want to. You seem like a really nice lady. I thought that before. I think it now, but I'm not surprised.
Been trying to
I'm
work this whole time.
well. You got terminated from employment because you were irresponsible. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You are
Balancing all of this by myself.
well. You have a husband, right?
Doing good. He's got health issues. He's hasn't been around like that. And when losing his job, having made him go into a mental breakdown. So I've been doing all this by myself.
How many children do you have?
Mitigation matters. Kids with special needs, a spouse's health, job loss. But mitigation is not a defense to ignoring a court order. Judges will consider documented therapy, treatment progress, and support letters. They may tailor conditions to minimize harm to children. Still, courts need proof of capacity to comply. Transport plans, childcare backup, sober support contacts, and employer letters. When life is spinning, supervision often gets tighter, not looser, because the court needs structure to protect both the defendant and the public. Translation: compelling personal stress explains behavior, but it rarely excuses missing a clearly stated same-day testing directive.
My son's autistic.
What do you have to say?
Which, I think at this point, with such a recent positive, and it's kind of a red flag when you get a positive, like, I think there's only 10 more days before it's gonna be off probation. I would ask the court to consider, continuing the probation, maybe a, counseling.
You were going to be positive. You can tell your lawyer what you want. You can tell anybody else what you want. You're not going to fool me.
Here, the judge articulates a common supervision principle. If you skip a test after a recent positive, the court may presume you would have tested positive. It's not a criminal conviction standard. It's a probation compliance standard aimed at risk management. The judge even says that a negative result would have earned leniency, so skipping eliminated the only path to mercy. Note the $2,000 hypothetical. It's a way to test credibility. If money were on the line, would you have found transport? That thought experiment underscores the court's view that choice, not fate, drove the non-appearance.
You were going to be positive for alcohol on the 29th, which is why you did not go and show up and test. Ironically, I'd made up my mind that if you went and tested negative, that I was going to be very lenient with you. But when people don't show up for their testing, they are sending a clear sign that they are going to be positive. And I'm going to consider them to be positive. Well, you can shake your head all you want, but I'm telling you, I feel very strongly about it. Nobody's going to convince me I'm wrong. Yes, there are things that happen, but I promise you, if I told you I'd give you $2,000 to show up to DNA testing that day, you'd have been there. Ma'am, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt. Why weren't you able to?
She wasn't around during that time to come pick me up. My husband was going through mental breakdown. I have the text of him threatening me and wasn't able to cope. I wasn't able to get out of the house.
Where was he at? He left for where?
And he just took off. And he's been bipolar. Going back and forth.
Jane stated that it'll take a few minutes for him to recover the email if it's there.
And just to clarify what to expect, I was aware that there was email and it looks like it was sent, but it's just half of a sentence. Really no content.
Yeah. I just.
I'm gonna have them retrieve the email.
If I could, we do have a letter from her therapist, and I will note in the therapy, it does state that she's compliant with the current plan. Her prognosis is looking good on the treatment, but it does state here, the therapist stated that she reported to her that she quit her job, not that she was fired.
I don't care if you quit. I don't care if you were fired because you weren't showing up or showing up late or a combination thereof. You're 30, how old? Just can't. You just can't ignore court orders. Do you have a valid license right now? Yes? Why didn't you drive to DNA?
Have vehicle.
How many vehicles do you and your husband own? Have a seat. I'll see what happens when he pulls the emails, okay? We calling Monica Wyachek, 24G 305 9908.
That's going on preparation.
Your one is that not the last.
We were able to get into Emily's emails. The defendant did send an email on Monday, September 29th at 12:47 PM. Quote, please help me tell the judge, ... That was it.
Were you not drunk?
No, that was actually my husband, and then he ended up calling her.
You got a drinking problem.
The email quote, please help me tell the judge, combined with the judge's you've got a drinking problem comment, reframes this case as a sobriety management problem, not just a transportation one. Enter SoberLink, a remote breath device with facial verification and scheduled unscheduled tests. Judges use it when they believe structured, daily accountability is needed, but full custody isn't proportionate. For defendants, SoberLink can be a lifeline, if they comply, because it documents sobriety in real time. But it also removes excuses. If the device is ordered and affordable plans exist, I couldn't make it, stops being plausible going forward.
I mean, I'm sorry. That's what I'm seeing out of this whole thing. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. You're making a lot of excuses. I think you're rationalizing. I don't know why your husband thinks he can send something to probation on under your name. I know what's going on. I can tell. I'm serious. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm trying to figure out which direction I need to go. You didn't show up because, as far as I'm concerned, you were drinking within 3 days and you knew you'd be positive. You can give me all this about not showing up because your husband threatening you. Your husband, who was threatening you, I think you said earlier, is now sending emails. On what day was that?
September 29th, the last.
September 29th. And he's sending emails and you're telling me he's threatening you on September 29th. was the day that you were supposed to test. Young lady,
I was actually moving out and moving in with my mom for a little bit with the kids. So it'd be easier for me if she's willing to help me with everything, now that she knows the gravity of my situation.
anything else? I know it's a tough one because she's almost forcing my hand here. Anything you want to say?
I'm in jail over this. If the kids need you, everything will fall apart in thousands.
What are you thinking?
When I had a conversation with Emily, Emily's recommendations to jail.
I've been taking this seriously from day one. I've been doing everything. I've been working so hard from 3:30 till 3 in the morning every day just to try to maintain all of our bills. I got my kids.
When did you lose your job?
It was August 13th, but I wasn't late. It was for me leaving early because I kept getting out at 30 in the morning. I had to leave early a lot of times with kids. My boss, he didn't want to let me go. It's just how the point system works. I was always there. I was always a hard worker. They didn't want to let me go. He even told me if I put my 2 weeks in, he hired me right back. But I couldn't afford to stop working at the time. I had to keep going. My understanding was that my husband, talking to his chairman and every day at work, that they were gonna have him start back work last month, but they're just dragging it on and they keep telling him just be ready to work and it's just creating, all this debts that we're getting and creating him to on this mental breakdown, and I've been having to hold it all together on my own. I haven't drank this why I've lost the first time when I had the wine. I don't desire to drink it all in port, Your Honor. Honest to God. I just have a really hard time balancing all this. I had no choice to ask my mom for help, and he had no choice to ask his peers that he doesn't even talk to for help to pay our mortgage so we don't lose our home. That's all that's going on right now. I have 5 interviews this week. I'm determined to get a job. And he's supposed to start work next week for his mom's husband's work. He's supposed to go out there and just work for him until he gets called back for GM. So that we have something to get us by until then. But I plan on going to work. I want to get a different job other than working from 3:30 to 3 in the morning so I can be there to take the kids to school because they go through all the different schools. And I wanted to work in the morning.
What time was that email?
12:47 PM.
In the afternoon.
Yes, the DNA would be open between 5 and 7 PM that night.
No, why didn't you go there?
When the judge establishes that the testing site has both morning and evening windows, that boxes in the "I couldn't go" defense. Courts expect proactive solutions: morning window with neighbor help, evening window with rideshare, or immediate outreach to probation for same-day guidance. The line, "I had no money, no ride, kids at home," is human, but courts see it as a plan problem, not a fate problem. Best practice after a positive: preload a plan, childcare backup, $20 rideshare fund, 2 emergency contacts, and a pre-written message template to probation. Accountability is logistics plus honesty.
So you're saying your husband's sending something to probation, or at least this is.
And I wasn't able to go because it was only from 6 a.m. till 9. I could only go between 5 and 7.
September 29th
And I was
Monday.
here.
was a Monday.
They're always open morning and evening though.
Why didn't you go there then?
I couldn't go anymore and I was here. So I
At night? Why didn't you go at night?
can only go between 5 and 7.
At night.
Yeah, I couldn't get there. I didn't have any money, I didn't have any transportation. I tried calling everybody, I couldn't get there between 5 and 7, I had all the kids, I had no money, I had no transportation, everybody would call me the next morning, my mom was away, and usually she's there all the time, like, I could get a hold of her any day. At any time, but I couldn't get a hold of anybody. I've, I've been taking this seriously. I don't miss anything. Even with the sober league,
You missed it.
I think I did everything right.
Ma'am, stop.
I can't.
Stop. Stop. I don't know what's going on with you. If I order a sober link, you're going to tell me you can't afford the sober link. If I order. Well, you needed to afford the.
Help me. I could have a job by the end of this week. I know I can.
Lisa? Can you hear me, Lisa?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Will Gibraltar send? I don't know where she's going to go if I give her 3 days. Do you? Where Gibraltar will want to send her?
I'm not sure. I can call and check.
Please do. When is probation scheduled to expire? October 18th, right?
Yes.
Judge. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. They said they normally would go to Flat Rock, but Flat Rock does not accept females, so she'll go to or to downtown.
I thought you were going to tell me that. That was not the answer I was looking for. I do not realize she's sending people to jail.
Outcome recap. The judge orders 3 days in jail ending Wednesday 5 p.m. Mandates SoberLink for 75 days with a device deadline of 10 a.m. by the specified date. Extends probation beyond the original expiration and imposes added costs, stated in court as additional costs and probation fees. The rationale: repeated non-compliance after a recent positive, credibility concerns around the email, and public safety risk reinforced by prior conduct. Big takeaway: in supervision, showing up on time is often the whole ballgame.
I don't relish it. But you got to wake up. No, you're going to serve 3 days jail. We're going to put right on the commitment until 5 p.m. on Wednesday. You're be on a SoberLink device for 75 days. To be on SoberLink by 10 a.m. What time do they open? You know?
7 a.m.
By 10 a.m. on 10/9/25. You're going to pay additional costs of 50, additional probation fees of 80 because I'm extending your probation until February 18 of 26. So you're going to be on probation until February 18, 26. You're going to pay additional costs of 50, additional probation fees of 80. You're going to serve 3 days jail from now until 5 p.m. on Wednesday. I just want you to think you're going to be on a SoberLink device for 75 days until October 9th. Ms. Wyachek, you seem like a really nice person. I think you got to get your life in order. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't want to. That's the last thing I want. I'm sorry, ma'am. I really am sorry. I really am. Good luck. I'm sorry. And you have to be on that sober link by Friday morning at 10. So you better. You're gonna be back on a sober link by Friday morning at 10 a.m. On Thursday morning, Roger.
So
You're getting out Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Yes, ma'am.
when-
Right now.
I have to have somebody take me to jail right now.
Yes. You're not gonna have them. We're gonna lock you up. I'm sorry. We'll let you make some calls. I promise you. Okay?
Close witness.